Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of Alex's Notes from the Middle. I am your host, Alex Light, and I am so honored and grateful that you're here with me today. I want to start out first by just saying thank you for so many of you for your support, and I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. This has been a journey that I have wanted to go on for a really long time, and I've been pretty nervous about it. And even today, I'm kind of struggling with getting out what I want to say in a right way that feels really authentic. Because to me, authenticity is the most important quality that I bring to the table because I I want you to know that everybody struggles with things and everybody, you know, everybody does. Everybody struggles. Everybody has the things they feel insecure about, and we're all just human. And this week has been tough. I've been sick. Uh, I've not been feeling great, and I'm like, no, I have to do this. I said I was going to do this every week. I was going to have it come out, and I want it to be something that people can look forward to in their day. And this week has been a struggle. I know that I want what I want to talk about. It's just making good content for you to want to watch. And so this is me being vulnerable with you right now and truly being my authentic self. I am struggling today, and I have been stressed out all weekend because am sick again. And just one sickness after the other does take a toll on your body, and it causes stress. And yeah, so I'm going to get into today's episode about patience and kindness, and it'll probably take a few different turns while I'm speaking as my brain just does what it does. So first, I'm going to start off by reading a letter. It was posted on my Facebook wall last Thursday by an old friend named Jake Snyder. And he and I went from 5th grade through graduation together in school. And because of Facebook, I've been able to keep up with him. And I do see him from time to time. Actually, I usually run into him at the Pride Festival downtown, which is amazing. So yeah, I'm going to start off with this. And hopefully I will not cry this time because I've tried to get it out 3 times now and I've teared up. So let's try it again. He said, on this day in 5th grade, you're going to meet a kid who feels out of place. Just moved to a new town where everyone looks the same and acts the same and has been friends with the same kids since Scouts. But on this day, you'll walk up to him on the playground and ask him if he wants to be friends, even though your friend Jennifer keeps looking at him like he's a weirdo. That small act of kindness will stick with him for the rest of his life. I'm so glad you're doing a podcast and sharing that light that has never gone out. Never change, Alex. Sincerely, the boy with long hair that carried a teddy bear around with him. This hit me really hard. See, I'm crying again. I'm starting to tear up every time. Darn it, Jake. But it hit me really hard because you don't realize that what seems like such a small thing to you can be such a big deal to somebody else. To me, I just saw this kid who was new and I wanted to be his friend. And to him, it meant everything. And that happens so often in life. And he is such a genuine person. And I am so glad to know him. And he doesn't know this. He's going to now. But Jake is one of those people that I always saw as being extremely authentic, always extremely himself. And even though when the world was kicking him, he stood tall. And he inspired me a lot to be the person that I wanted to be. And there's those people that you see in life who, sorry, there's those people that you see in life and you think to yourself, wow, like, I wish I could harness that confidence. I wish that I could harness that kind of joy of being fully and authentically myself. And so on this journey, like I said before, definitely one of the people I looked up to. And so my small act of kindness helped him be himself. And him being himself helped me be myself. And it's kind of the way the world works, you know? It's this perfect circle of life. And there could be somebody that's having a really bad day and you don't know they're having a bad day, and you hold the door open for them and you say, hey, I hope you're doing great. Hi, nice to see you. Hey, good afternoon. Those little acts of kindness can go a really long way for a lot of people. And I think it's so important that we show up authentically and that we're kind to people always. And of course, there's going to be some people that we don't vibe with. I mean, I don't expect everybody to like me. I'm not for everybody, and I know that. But it's not going to stop me from being nice to people, you know? You don't have to surround yourself with those people every day, but that doesn't mean you can't smile and say hi. And, you know, I want to turn that focus of kindness and authenticity also into patience, because sometimes when you're practicing patience with others, it's also being kind as well. And so it feels like a good segue into telling you a story about being at Walmart on Sunday. I had to go grocery shopping for some things. Eric came back to town and is staying, and I wanted to make him and Graham dinner and breakfast and all the fun things. And sorry, I got to readjust myself. Well, I just lost my book. But anyway, so I was at Walmart Sunday at noon. There's tons of people there. And I could have gone the way of being irritated that people were in my way in the aisles. Or I could also remember that everybody is there at the same time as me. Because as I walked around, I noticed both kinds of people. You had the kind of people that were kind and patient. And you had the people who were mad and scoffing and putting their negative energy out in the world. So what are you choosing to put out in the world? Your positive energy or your negative energy? Because you're choosing to be at this store at this time and you know it's going to be busy. If you don't know what Walmart is like at noon on a Sunday, then you're crazy. I mean, not being judgmental, but noon on a Sunday, Walmart's insane. And so you have to practice patience and understanding, because otherwise you're putting that chaotic energy out there in the world too. And there was this woman, and she was standing in line in front of me, and she had a cart like full of stuff. And I mean like overflowing cart. And I just stood behind her in line, and she kept turning around and apologizing to me. And I was like, you don't have to apologize to me. It's totally fine. I was like, Walmart's busy on Sunday. It's okay. Like, I'm here too. I totally get it. And she goes, oh, well, I try to not like upset people. So I try to come at different times when I know it's not going to be busy. But unfortunately, I just couldn't get here today, and I'm not shopping for me. I'm shopping for somebody else. And the way that she helps somebody that has assistance. And so she does all of their shopping and everything, and she can only do the shopping at certain times. And she had to go through certain processes of separating things out, because some things are, charged on different cards than others, and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I told her, I said, I really don't mind. I said, it's totally okay that you just take your time. I said, I don't have anywhere to be, and I'm honestly here on a Sunday too. So really not a big deal. And she goes, I really appreciate that. And she said, I always tell people, if you want to practice patience, to stand behind me in line. And I said, that's kind of crazy you're saying that, because I was going to talk about kindness and patience when I record my podcast tonight, which I did not end up recording it anyway, which I will get into later. But I told her, I said, it's just you saying this in this moment is pretty much like spot on with what I was going to talk about. And I said, I'm probably going to talk about this moment too. And she goes, oh, that's totally fine. So again, you don't realize that your kindness to somebody else and your patience with somebody else can change their day, because she instantly, when I was like, you're totally fine, don't even worry about it, her stress level went down. You could tell she was hurried. She was stressed already. So why would I, as a person, add to that? Why would I stress her out even more by becoming upset with her? It's not her fault that she's shopping for somebody else. It's not her fault that Walmart's busy. It's not her fault that I chose to stand behind her in line. It's really not. And so to me, I'm like, those little acts of things to make people feel more comfortable and putting that positive energy out there is so important. And so just make sure in those moments you take time and you breathe. And if you are stressed out already, of course it's so easy to get even more frustrated or stressed out in situations. Driving, oh my gosh, how many of us, and myself included, could use more patience while we drive? Because that road rage is at like an all-time high. So the hustle and bustle of the world has made it seem like you have to rush everywhere you have to go. You truly don't. You could have left 5 minutes earlier. You could have left before rush hour. You could have, right? So in those moments, excuse me, I'm going to take a drink real quick. In those moments, just make sure that you're slowing down, you're breathing, you're resetting, you keep your high vibrations going, right? And I like to do grounding energy. I like to do breath work in those moments to really try to reset. And I myself also suffer from general anxiety disorder. And I talked the other day about being a recovering people pleaser. And part of being a recovering people pleaser, though, doesn't mean that I'm just rude to people. It means that I am recovering from being rude to myself. Because oftentimes when you find yourself being a people pleaser, you aren't being kind, because you are putting yourself in situations that you typically wouldn't put yourself in just to make other people feel comfortable. And that's not okay either. You have to make sure that you're doing things that are right for you and being kind to yourself and being patient with yourself. And especially with generalized anxiety disorder, I had times where it would cripple me. I couldn't do my job. I felt like I couldn't be a good mom during those times. Like I wasn't patient with Graham during those times. I didn't want to play as much with him because I was so stressed out and so full of anxiety all the time. And that's not the way to be, Do you have money problems? Are you stressed out about that? Do you have health problems? Are you stressed out about that? Do you have other problems in your life that you're stressed out about? A lot of those things that you're stressed out about, they become worse because you're stressed out about them. So being patient and being kind to yourself can help lower those stress levels, which can higher your vibrations. Okay, Alex, which can up your vibrations. And when you up your vibrations, the universe sees that and the universe says, okay, energy can never be created. Okay, energy just is. And so make sure you're vibrating at that higher energy and keeping those high vibes going, keeping that high energy going, because either you can have bad energy or you can have good energy, but energy is always moving no matter which way you go. So being kind and patient to yourself and talking about stress. I talked about it at church this week too, is just notice how things happen when you need them to. Little reminders to get you back on track on what to do. And making sure to not overcommit yourself. That's part of the people pleaser thing. If you are feeling stressed out and you are feeling anxious about something, it's okay to tell people no. It's okay to cancel plans. It is really okay. And if that person is so upset with you for doing so, then they are not being kind and understanding, because I tell you what, in my group of girls, we all understand that we all have very busy lives. And some days at the end of the workday, it's really hard to also go to dinner and chat with somebody. Sometimes you just want to come home and relax. And we are all very understanding of that and never make each other feel guilty about that. And you should never make your friends feel guilty about that either. If somebody is stressed out and they're like, I just need to go home and relax, and say you were like really looking forward to time with them, instead of making them feel guilty about it, say, would you still like some company? We don't have to go out, but I can still just come and we can watch TV and sit in silence if you would like. Because then you're getting your friend time, but also they're getting their relaxed time that they need, right? So you're still being there for them, saying, hey, I would love to be here for you. I would love to help release your stress. Let me just come sit and be next to you. And oftentimes my friend Mariah and I have talked about this too, where sometimes you just need an ear and you don't need a problem solved. So sometimes you just need somebody to talk to when you're stressed out too, and maybe that person's scared to reach out. So if they do reach out, we start the conversation by saying, are you looking for a solution or an ear? So you're asking that person, let me just sit and listen to you. We don't all need to be fixers all the time either. Sometimes people just need to vent and get it out, and you being there and being kind and helping them helps their anxiety. That's where kindness and patience and understanding comes in, where you're just there for them and you're kind to them and you're understanding of situations, because you're going to have days that are rough too. You're going to have days where you just want to go home and sit on the couch, and that's okay. Just tell them that. Be open about it. So, yeah, that's kind of a journey that I've been on lately. And I've needed quite a few pep talks lately. So pep talk me up here real quick, okay? I'm gonna read something that I wrote down, switch it a bit, about going back to the overcommitting, sky high expectations, slowing down, being present, and patience. Burnout, talking about burnout. I actually did save the definition of burnout because I thought it was something that was really important to read to you today. Not a carbon burnout, but an emotional burnout. Here we go. The reduction of a fuel or substance to nothing through use or combustion. So anyway, burnout definition I actually want to give you, not the car burnout. Physical or mental collapse caused by overwork or stress, high levels of professionalism that may result in burnout. So, physical or mental collapse. So, you get to a point where you are so stressed out and you are so burnt out where you have a mental collapse and you literally cannot function. Have any of you been there before? I know I have. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have a Lord of the Rings tapestry in the background. So I'm going to use a quote by the late and great Bilbo Baggins. I feel stretched thin like butter scraped over too much bread. So if you are burnt out, you feel stressed, you feel stretched out, you feel thin, you don't feel good. That's not good for your system. That's not kind to yourself. So when you are stressed or you are overworked or you are overcommitting yourself to your friends or you are saying yes to be a people pleaser, those are all things that are stressing you out all the time. And those are all things that we need to make sure that we are not doing, to make sure that we're regulating our own nervous system, to be kind to ourselves. Because my gosh, we live in a hustle bustle world. Like I said earlier, right? Everybody's moving, everybody's grooving, everybody's like, you know what? It's on the next hustle. You got to hustle. You got to hustle to make the next dollar. You got to hustle to this. You got to hustle to do that. No, you don't. You really don't. You don't have to work yourself to death. That's what society wants you to think, and it is simply not true. If you are working yourself to death, you are stressing yourself out, and it's not good for your nervous system. Stress is the number one cause of sickness. You can look it up. Seriously, look it up. Look how much stress can cause you problems. Stress caused my hair to fall out in like chunks. My hair was falling out. It was causing me to lose weight because when I get stressed out, I'm not hungry and I can't eat. I was so rail thin. It was so gross. Like I did not feel good. I weigh 20 pounds heavier now than I did back in March. Remember when I said I needed a desperate and immediate change at that time in my life because I was so thin. My eyes were sunken. I wasn't eating properly. I was not taking care of myself. I was not good. It was not good at all. And it was all because of stress. And I was sick all the time. And I'm not talking like cold, flu, things like that. But I had no energy for anything. I didn't want to see anyone. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to go have fun. I wanted to lay in bed. It was terrible because I had no energy because I was not fueling my body because I was stressed. The stress was causing me severe issues. Stress has caused people heart attacks, strokes. People who get stressed and binge eat, they can have risk of diabetes, things like that. So make sure that you are doing things to help keep your stress level down and saying no to situations that you don't want to do. It's okay to say no to dinner if you are at a level where you're so stressed out that you can't function. It's okay to cancel certain things. It's okay to call in sick to work if you are so stressed out and burnt out, because you get a sick day. And guess what? When you're stressed out and you can't function, that's a sickness. A lot of people are like, that's mental health. Yeah, guess what? Mental health is part of your body. Mental health is so important. And mental health, they call it a mental illness because it's a sickness, okay? So you have to take care of yourself. You have to make sure that you're nurturing your body and nurturing your mind and being kind to your own self in order to live a happier, healthier life. Because I can tell you I have times where I'm still stressed out. I had a really hard time doing this podcast on Sunday. I had a really hard time sitting here recording this. And I ended up just getting up, putting my things down, and going to bed. And I was like, I'm just going to have to record it tomorrow. And guess what? I didn't even record it the next day. I'm recording it tonight. And I waited 2 more nights to record it because I was just not in the right headspace to do so. And I almost said I didn't do it tonight. Eric had to give me a pep talk. He's like, it's hard to create. And I was like, yeah, it is. It is hard to create. He goes, I understand that. He goes, just be authentically yourself. People will understand. It's hard to create. It's hard to do these things. It is really hard because the people pleaser in me wants to, but also I want to do this for me. I want to struggle through this one thing this week to do something for myself, to prove to myself that I can. That's my kindness to me, is proving that I can. Because I want to be great at this. I want to be my best, most authentic self at this. I want to be here for you guys to let you know, so you can see me raw, that I struggle too. I really do. And this one's going to be shorter this week because I am not in the mental headspace to do a 45-minute episode this week. I'm not in the mental headspace to keep talking about patience and kindness when I feel like I'm like, okay, I don't have that capacity right now to have patience for myself. And that's okay. It's okay sometimes to be like that. But this is only episode 3. So I get through this. I get through anything, right? Just kidding. But my big revelation of doing that this week is that I want to live my life with a purpose. And part of the purpose is making it through the struggle for me, because I don't want to quit because something got hard. I want to keep going even through the hard because it's my dream and it's what I want to do and I want to be here for you. And so I just remember that I need to stop, reset, and do some breath work before I end tonight, where I'm going to generate state with you. Generating state is doing breath work. It's 3 deep breaths in through the nose for the count of 3, pausing for a brief moment, then breathing out through your mouth like you're breathing through a straw. Doing that 3 times. I like to put my hand on my heart and my hand on my stomach when I'm breathing in. If you are in a place where you can close your eyes, do so. If you are not in a place where you can close your eyes, do not do so. But generating state, making sure you're getting leveled, making sure you're getting that stress level back on track, okay? You're like stressed up here, stop, generate your state, and come back down. Bring that stress level down with that breath work, and then reapproach a situation. And this works in so many ways. I have to do this with my kiddo all the time. I am the mother of a 9-year-old autistic child who also has severe ADHD. And I'm going to be really honest. There are some days that are very big struggles. He is high functioning and he's very, very intelligent. We just struggle with like little tasks, getting dressed in the morning, brushing your teeth, doing your hair, eating your breakfast, getting your shoes on, getting out the door, all those little things, all those tiny little things for him are struggles. And it's really, really hard, but it also makes it, as selfish as it sounds, it's also really hard on his dad. And it's also really hard on me because we know he can't help it. And we try to be so patient and understanding, but it after 9 years of dealing with some of the things, it does get hard. Excuse me. So generating state for us is so important. So go ahead and do that with me if you can. Again, close your eyes. If you cannot, don't. I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to, because I'm not going to be held liable because you closed your eyes while driving. So if you are doing something where you cannot close your eyes and be safe, do not close your eyes in this situation. So if you can, though, close your eyes, hand on your heart, hand on your stomach. We're going to do 3 deep breaths. In through the nose, count of 3. Pause again. Out through the mouth like you're breathing through a straw, okay? So heart, stomach, and in for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Pause and out. 2, 3. Pause. In through the nose. Pause. Out through the mouth. And we're going to do this one more time, okay? In through the nose. Pause. And out through the mouth. All right. Before I close out this episode, I have to give you the like, subscribe, and share with your friends because I want to keep doing this for a long time. So if you don't like, subscribe, and share, guess what? I don't get to be here. So please do so. And it's so appreciated. Like, thank you so much. Thank you so much for generating state with me. Thank you so much for continuing to support. And I greatly, greatly appreciate it. And I'm going to send you off with an affirmation tonight, okay? So here's your affirmation, and you can repeat it back with me. I'm just coming up with this on the top of my head, okay? So, I am patient, kind, and understanding to others, but to most importantly, myself. I am patient, I am kind, and I am understanding to others, but most importantly, to myself. And always a third time's a charm. I am patient, I am kind, and I am understanding to others, but most importantly, to myself. So I'm going to leave you with this week. Go out and do something kind for yourself. If you are stressed out about something, tell somebody no in that situation. Say, I'm sorry, but no. If a friend cancels on you, say, hey, is there anything that I can do for you? What can I do for you? Or do you need an ear? Just go out and do something kind. Drink your water, eat your healthy foods, and make sure you get a little bit of movement in every day. It's also kind to yourself. But have a great week, and I will see you back here next Thursday at 9 a.m. Have a really blessed night.